Hey everyone, welcome back to Ice Cream Meltdown. Today we're making a special treat. What are we making, Evie?
Jenny's maple ice cream.
Yeah, it's from this book, from Jenny's Splendid Ice Creams. Jenny has such awesome recipes. So we found this one maple ice cream in here. And it's my sister's birthday, so we're doing a special backyard party. And we're gonna bring this maple ice cream and see how everyone likes it. So first, let's start with the ingredients. In here it says we've got milk, whole milk, cornstarch, cream cheese, salt, heavy whipping cream, light corn syrup, and maple syrup. So we'll get on to step one. With this cornstarch, so there's 1 tablespoon of cornstarch in there. So go ahead and mix that up, Eve. Step is we want to take 2 ounces of cream cheese here and then soften it. So I'm gonna pop this in the microwave. Sorry, I'm not very smooth at that. So you take 2 ounces of that, and then we're just gonna pop it right here in the microwave to soften. All right, I've tried to soften the ice cream. It's the cream cheese, and I overdid it a little, so you can see it kind of started to cook, but it's plenty soft. So it's gonna be fine. We're still gonna cook this, but we're gonna put the salt. So can you put a 1/2 teaspoon of salt in there, Eve? Yeah, there we go. Nice. So in a medium bowl, it says put the cream cheese and the salt. And I think Jenny's ice cream tastes different because of this cream cheese. It's like super tasty. All right, so then Eve, take the thing here and mix it up. Start mixing that in. All right, here in Jenny's book, it says next add 1.5 cups heavy cream. So these are 1/2 cups, I'll get 3 of these. And then the corn syrup. 2, I'll lose track. Look at that, it's good cream from Meadow Gold. Okay, 1.5 cups heavy cream and then corn syrup. It says right here, 1/4 cup light corn syrup. So let's put a 1/4 cup. Do you want to try this one, Ian? All right, let's put that in there. All right, just hold this little 1/4 cup. Hold it up over there in case I mess up. Look at that. So I guess this light corn syrup is kind of one of the secret ingredients. It's not quite as sweet as normal sugar. Yeah, but it just has a nice consistency there. So let it drip out there. I know, it does kind of look like dish soap. You could probably do a prank on someone and like put this light corn syrup in the dishwashing soap. But I don't know, not recommending that, kids. All right, and then the next step says fill a large bowl with ice and water. Oh man. All right, well, I'll pick up the rest, but I'm gonna then fill this up with water here, over here. So the reason we're filling this thing up with ice water is because after we cook the mixture on the stove, we're gonna put it in a bag and just submerge it in there and let it cool before we put it in the ice cream machine to mix it up. It's kind of one of the steps in the process. All right, and then we're gonna take maple syrup. This is grade A. Jenny says she likes B and C because I guess the flavors. Ooh, I gotta turn that off. Sorry, I just turned on the stove before I had anything in there, which isn't a good idea. So you put 2 cups of this in here. That's delicious maple syrup. So I really hope this turns out because maple syrup is not cheap and we love waffles and stuff like that. So we put 1, we're gonna put 2 cups in there and it says to boil this. Let me see. There's almost exactly 2 cups left. So I'm just finishing off this thing. Just save a smidge for later. Look at that dark amber color. So it says 2 cups in there, maple syrup reduced to a medium heat. Oh, you start with a high heat and put this on. So apparently you want the maple syrup to be reduced by about half. We're making it like super sweet here. So we let this delicious maple syrup boil for about 8 minutes. Supposedly it's like half the amount that it was before because it evaporated. And then the next step is to add in the milk. There's 2 2/3 cup. So we're gonna do this and we're gonna cook all that. There's 1. And I should probably use the 2 2/3 cup thing, but I'm just kind of approximating that's about 2/3 right there. So add in 2 2/3 cup milk in here. All right, and this is that cream and corn syrup mixture that we just mixed up a few minutes before we started boiling this. So you're gonna put all of that in there. That's got the milk, maple syrup, cream and corn syrup, and then get this thing back on and turn it to a boil. So we're gonna boil all this here for 4 minutes. So once it starts boiling, you're supposed to cook it for about 4 minutes, and it's really starting to foam up here. So as you can see, it says a rolling boil for 4 minutes. And then Jenny said it might look curdled, but it'll just normalize once you mix it in and freeze it as the ice cream. So that's what it's looking like. Okay, now that this thing's been boiling for about 4 minutes, check it out. It does look pretty funny. She said it'd look kind of curdled. It's super thick. She said next is mixed in the cornstarch slurry. So this is really gonna thicken it up so it'll be more like ice cream in the end. So I'm gonna mix that in and then boil this for 1 more minute. Just trying to get all of that out of there. And then once we do that, then we're gonna add it to that cream cheese mixture and then put it in that bag in the big bowl of ice water. Okay, so that thing boiled for about a minute, and then next step is we're gonna mix this into our cream cheese slurry. This was like salt and cream cheese, so that's what it looks like. It's gonna be ice cream here pretty soon. This is really kind of like the final steps. We mix that in with the cream cheese, and then it says, okay. All right, we're almost done with this stuff actually. So we've got that's essentially our ice cream. It's just really hot right now. Probably wouldn't be as good as ice cream. You pour it into this Ziploc bag. Oh, I don't want to mess this up. In this ice bath. Just pour that in there. It's a 1 gallon Ziploc bag. All that. That's the maple ice cream. And she said you can put nuts in here, but I've got kids and there's other kids eating this later. And usually they don't love nuts, so we're just making the straight up maple ice cream. So we're gonna let that sit in our ice bath for 30 minutes. And then after we do that, we're gonna get our KitchenAid attachment and mix it up into ice cream. All right, so that's all mixed in there. You can see how much it is. I think it's supposed to be about like a quart of ice cream. So then we just pop that thing on there, turn it on, and we'll let that run until it gets really thick. And then we'll give it a taste, and then we're gonna put it in the freezer for about 4 hours before it firms up, and we'll show you all of that. All right, so this is the next day, and we learned a few things. This is what the maple ice cream is supposed to look like, and this is our batch here. So what happened was we put it in the machine, and it started churning and churning, and I probably let it go for like 20 minutes while I was playing the piano, just waiting, and it didn't get thick at all. So I'm rereading the recipe, trying to figure out where did we go wrong. And I identified in here that for the cornstarch, it says 1 tablespoon plus 2 teaspoons cornstarch. And we only added 2 teaspoons. I just totally neglected this 1 tablespoon part at the beginning, which was apparently a huge mistake because it didn't get thick at all. So what we ended up doing was we took it from the machine, we poured it back into the 4-quart pot on the stove. I cooked it again, and then I added a tablespoon of cornstarch, but I hadn't added the milk with it, so the cornstarch just made like little chunks in there. And then we ended up freezing it, and I haven't tried it yet. This is gonna be our first reaction, but I'm pretty disappointed because it probably cost at least $10 for the ingredients. I mean, 2 cups of that pure maple syrup is really expensive, plus the cream and all this stuff, and then all this time and washed all these dishes. So it was a big letdown. Jenny's version looks way better than ours. But I expect it to taste okay. So Evie and I are gonna try it now. I mean, maybe it's not as bad as I'm expecting. So there's some for Evie, and here's some for me. So I'll let Evie have the first bite. Evie, go for it. Take a bite, tell us what you think.
Starting to be more like ice cream than it was yesterday.
Yeah, it's looking more like ice cream. I mean, it's not way off, but what do you think?
I think it actually tastes like real ice cream.
Okay. All right, here it goes. I mean, there's a lot of work. It's been like full 24 hours since we started, more than that, since we started working on this. It's not as bad as I was expecting. It just looked like liquid, like when we, even after it churned in the machine, we poured it in here and just put it in the freezer in like a liquid form. So it's really dense, because usually when you churn something, there's air that's building up in there, and there's no air in here. It's like super thick. It's pretty good, actually. What do you think? I mean, what are you gonna give it out of 10? What's the score?
Maybe like a 6 out of 10, because I mean, I like the flavor, but just the way we did it, those chunks of cornstarch that I found in it.
Yeah, true. And I just took another bite, and I did bite down on a little chunk of cornstarch, which is not ideal. It didn't taste bad. Like, this has a super maple flavor, because we boiled the 2 cups of maple syrup and then some evaporated, so it was like even more concentrated. But taste-wise, it tastes good. It's really sweet. If you like maple syrup, you'll love this. It's really good. So I'm gonna give it, like, I can only imagine if it turned out like Jenny intended, I would probably give this like a 9 out of 10. Our version is probably like a 6 out of 10, maybe like a 5 or 6 out of 10, something like that. But it definitely would be better if you followed the instructions exactly. So we're gonna try another one another day from Jenny's, but thanks for watching. This is Mark and Evie, and this is Ice Cream Meltdown. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and we hope to see you again soon. Yeah, so that's not like a marshmallow or white chocolate, that's cornstarch. So that's not what's supposed to happen. That's why you mix it up with milk and follow the ingredients or instructions exactly. So pretty good. Just eat around these big powdery chunks of cornstarch and you're good to go. If you like this video and you want to see more, click this button, subscribe to my channel, and enter an ice cream extravaganza.